Am I going crazy? Spouse of 13 years keeps insisting I am mentally compromised. Obviously we only have your side. But she sounds manipulative, lazy, controlling and abusive. I think it's time you start planning a way out of the marriage. Or at the very least insist she accompany you to couples therapy. I've been where you are right now and I can say that we have a lot in common. Because we're online, anonymous, and able to get away with most any sort of comment. I'm going to say what I'd never have the guts to say to anyone face to face. Your wife is a narcissist. She doesn't love you. She is not your friend. She is manipulating you for financial security. Your children and your mental faculties are weapons in her arsenal of control tactics. You are a metaphorical mirror that she is yelling at every day. And she will never stop. She will never change. And you have yet to see the worst of her. Keep pushing yourself out of your introverted comfort zone. There is help all around you. Things will get worse before it gets better. Build up your strength. For yourself and your children. Yes. She is gaslighting you. She is also most likely preparing to rape you financially in divorce court. And take full custody of the children. She is currently laying the groundwork so she can make false accusations of mental illness and physical abuse. What you described is textbook gaslighting. And if someone ever tells you to kill yourself, that person does not belong in your life anymore. She is abusive and using you for your income. Please document the abuse and bring the evidence to a divorce attorney. I'm sorry you're going through this. 1. Yes, that's gaslighting too. Kids generally get over divorces better than adults. Growing up in a fighting gaslighting home is worse than growing up with a happy single father. But also, I bet you're a catch and you'll find someone new that deserves you. She's setting you up since the time has come for her to check out of the relationship. Consult a family lawyer ASAP and protect your assets. This whole thing is a very complicated web of issues. Anyone who tries to give you a nice compact answer is lying to you or just wrong. All I can say is, step number 1. You need marriage counseling. No idea what step number 2 will look like. Your story sounds exactly like mine. You are being gaslit. That sounds like gaslighting. I had a relationship like that where I heard a lot of, you always, this and, you never, that. Where basically I was made to believe that my own reality was not true. Ended that marriage. Found a good person and I'm happily married again. Your wife being full-on abusive and irredeemable is a definite possibility. But there are a lot of other more complex possibilities as well. Although it sounds like what she is maintaining being directly accurate is very unlikely. Relationships can be very complicated. I would suggest that it's very important that you accurately understand what is going on before deciding how to proceed. For one thing, if your wife is as bad as she sounds here and cannot improve, she should not have custody of the kids. And that would take a lot of preparation on your part, and would be very challenging after having custody as well. If the reality is more complex, it may seem more difficult to work on the problems in the relationship. But in the long run it might be easier than the alternative. So I would suggest that you first, very carefully, inform yourself about how to proceed in case of divorce and child custody preparations. My limited understanding is that you'll need to be keeping a record of things. So you might as well start with that first. Hopefully you will not need to use this. Then, find a couples therapist or something that specializes in guiding active listening conversations. And also knows something about people on the spectrum in relationships. Mainly I'm wondering, are there some valid issues at the root of her anger etc. that have metastasized somehow? Layers of mutual misunderstandings. Inaccurate depictions and exaggerations can have powerful effects. When you both are able to communicate more simply and clearly, the picture might look very different. Edit. Having read more in your comments, it sounds even messier than what you mentioned in your post. Bottom line, you are going to have to learn how to deal with her as well as possible whether you are divorced or not. You will need to see a counselor of some kind who can help you learn to do that. Definitely read up about active listening. Although if you practice it 100% with someone who is stuck in a negativity bender, they will reject it. Don't argue very much. Be less verbally responsive, although with your body language and so on. Make it clear you are listening. Follow up with simple questions to try to understand what she means and where she's coming from. In what you do say, use the broken record technique. Take only essential positions and express them in simple, actually boring ways. A lot of drama is stimulation, and if you take away the stimulation, you gradually deflate the drama. At the same time, she may be attempting to express unmet needs. So lack of stimulation in the sense of ignoring her or being extremely emotionally blank will increase the drama. Do what you can to re-establish positive moments and connection in the relationship. Even if it's basic, you need some baseline of positivity to build up from. Most of these people commenting that you should just divorce her either don't have kids, forget that detail, or would think little of leaving them behind apparently. If she is truly an unchangeable living nightmare, they should not stay with her. And if she isn't, then the relationship can be repaired, at least to the point of sanity. Regardless of whether you stay together forever or not. Based solely on your perspective, it seems like you're in the right, but I do find it hard to believe in your description of how you've treated her that you've been absolutely perfect with no issue in any way. I don't really want to go down this route, but perhaps your difficulties with social interaction due to autism are impairing your ability to recognize negative actions in your communication. It's very rarely a single person's fault for everything in a relationship. As for the medication side effects, this is also hard to say what's going on. Memory lapses are really difficult as the person with the issues is usually resistant against recognizing a problem. How could you know? You don't remember it. I work in healthcare, and individuals with memory issues from brain injuries are typically resistant against speech therapy for their reduced cognition as they lack insight into it being a problem. Medication side effects like what you're describing aren't all that rare. Talk to your doctor or whoever prescribed these medications. With all that said, this is way above Reddit, and lacking your wife's perspective really limits any sort of feasible advice to give here. Only advice we can give is to go to counseling. Find a way to convince her it's for the benefit of the family and your marriage, and work from there. Some of the things she has said to you cross a huge line and are extremely hurtful. Good luck and keep an open mind. I'm not going to comment on any of this other than what I know for sure. The points of disassociation, memory issues, and the like are garbage. Obviously, it depends on the meds you are on. But most of the medication they prescribed as frontline for those types of things will not cause those kinds of side effects. Speaking as someone who has been on them for years and had to cycle through more than a few to find what worked, the side effects are all other things: motor control, sexual dysfunction, sensory overload, brain zaps. That's a fun one. Not. And similar. Memory loss can be an issue with certain ADHD, ASD people. But generally you will know it well in advance. Do you lose your keys a lot? Do you have trouble remembering what you ate for breakfast? Etc. And it won't just be those times. People on the spectrum are easily manipulated by people with personality disorders. The autistic person has difficulty reading emotional manipulation. She has gotten away with it for the past 13 years. Being on medication has helped you to deal with her, but it sounds like the damage has been done. You, my friend, are being emotionally abused. It sounds to me like she's using potential side effects of medications as a means of planting doubt in your mind about what was said. She's manipulating you. Rough situation with children involved. I would recommend marriage counseling. If the divorce comments keep coming up, get a lawyer and move forward. Stay strong. It sounds like if you decide to divorce, it will get really nasty really fast. Definitely lawyer up. Send her and the kids somewhere for the weekend while you grab your stuff. If that not possible, ask for a sheriff deputy escort. Hi, child of divorced parents who were incredibly toxic and abusive to one another. Here, woman raising hand, light skin tone. Children are resilient and they don't want their parents to separate based on an ideal that we're taught of a functioning home. The truth of the matter is, as long as you stay, your children are also being traumatized about what is going on in the house. Me and my adult siblings, when my parents divorced after 35 years together, staying in a bad situation for the kids can be more harmful than helpful, and when they're old enough, some of these tactics will be used on their children and they will take it to be normal. You have to stick up for yourself and your kids. Sure, it's gonna suck our end, but staying together for kids isn't a solution to a problem. You need to think long-term mental health issues they will have and not just the resulting fallout from a divorce now. It is, in my opinion, still upsetting, but I genuinely wish my parents would have separated earlier, because my memories of childhood could have been much different and me and my siblings wouldn't have battered shelter dog syndrome. Us neurodivergents are easy prey for the narcissist. I'm sorry you have spent so long going through this. I'm impressed you managed to do so well in so many areas of your life in spite of it. I couldn't do the same. Glad you found medication that works for you. You're not crazy in the way she's suggesting, but I would suggest therapy. It sounds like your relationship has been traumatic. I wish you all the best. I have a coworker with a fiancé like your wife. They have nothing. He has no education and she wants to have kids and stay home. He doesn't want this but can't say no to her due to his insecurities. She wants him to provide a fairy tale that doesn't exist. They can't afford rent on one income. She is blind to this fact and is manipulating him. It's so hard to gently let people know that they're in an abusive relationship without ruining your own relationship with said person. I am so sorry, Op. You don't deserve this. I wish you all the best. There's so much helpful info here and I sincerely hope you get through okay. Bro, if your wife doesn't let you watch porn, she isn't your wife. As someone who was married to a man with borderline personality disorder, which is very close to narcissism, and with him for 15 years beginning as high school sweethearts, my heart goes out to you. You can escape this. I promise. The other side is so much better. Lots of advice here. The only thing I can add is when you do take the necessary steps to separate, you should think about all the possible things she can do and prepare yourself for those moves. Like a chess game. Because you prepared and she will be shooting from the hip and being emotional, you will always have the upper hand and it will go your way. It will be a battle and battles need strategy and planning. Good luck. And don't beat yourself up about your kids having divorced parents. Sounds like they are better off with you guys separated, plus it is what it is at this point.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.